trying to think of what else.
Let's talk about your humidity. How do you normally do that in this space?
So the trick, right, is like I have a lot of plants. I also, if you've noticed, purposely prop some plants in leca.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like leca as much because I actually, over time, I've realized that they don't grow as well, like mature-wise, as I'd like them to grow. But that's okay if I'm propping them or if I'm not intending for the plant to be like a huge specimen, for example.
Right.
Like this Billites, or Billy, I don't know how to say it correctly. This one here is in leca, right here. But the nice thing is, this is by the Anthurium. I should get rid of that ghost leaf, but I don't care. But yeah, this is in leca here. I've got a couple of Philodendrons here in leca. I've got Glorious in leca here. I've got, just various, you'll see every other plant. There's a couple tricks with this is that it does help a little bit with pests. So the leca does keep my maintenance. It also, when I water, it's just a little less watering to have to do. Mm-hmm. The changes are kind of a pain, so I tend to kind of put plants I care less about in leca because I just don't have time for all the pH balancing that people talk about. And generally, sometimes I'll look and this plant just like is doing really crappy in leca, and I'll just move it. There's been some, especially Anthuriums, it's just like, oh, this one does not do well, or just, but props do very well, or imports do really well. So when I get an import, for example, and I don't import heavily. I import for myself. I don't like do the whole. I just don't like importing mass amounts. But sometimes we get a cheaper plant from like Ecuador or from Southeast Asia. I try to leca prop them a little bit because it tends to work a little bit better.
Like it helps with your bugs. It also helps with your
humidity for sure. Right. Yeah, I have a few humidifiers. I think the average humidity outside in the Bay Area is around 40 to 50%. So when you just confine it a little bit, it bumps it up just a bit more, right? When you have this many plants in one area, you just get like a little more humidity. My Anthurium room upstairs, that's kept at 80%. It's a smaller, more enclosed space, and you'll also notice there that I have humidifiers on timers as well. The timers are nice because I actually only have the humidity on maybe 30 minutes every 2-3 hours, and that's enough to just bump it up.
Yeah, I suspect that since you have so many plants in a confined space, the humidity naturally it helps itself.
Oh yeah, totally. It's a fantastic trick. I kind of have this weird like urban jungle kind of, like this is where I work. This is my desk. I spend hours a day here in front of my computer, drinking coffee, looking at my plants, right? Like this is, it's fantastic. You sort of like, you can sit in here. Actually, you should just sit in there.
No. Okay.
Sit in there and like you can just show people like that's
let me take a look.
Just like this is the viewpoint I get.
Okay.
From my desk, right? It's like.
Right.
I just look at plants all day, right? And that to me is great. Like I actually really enjoy. Like for me, growing plants is about enjoying my plants. People ask, why don't you have them in a tent? I don't like keeping things in tents. Like I like things out in the open and turning around, and this is my Zoom background for meetings.
Oh my goodness.
If you ever have a Zoom meeting with me, you'll see just like tons and tons of plants.
I feel like people would have Zoom meetings with you just to look at your plants in the background.
I've had other people just be like, oh, that's a great like Zoom background. Where did you find it? And like, it's a live background, and
it's a great blue screen.
I'll take the plant, whatever, and I just really enjoy keeping my plants around. And
oh goodness, yeah, this is great. And let me see, like I'm looking at a lot of your soil mixes, and you really use very, very little potting soil. A lot of it's like leca, orchid bark, right?
Lots and lots of perlite, orchid bark.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about lighting, we talked about humidity, temperature. I feel like the Bay Area is pretty temperate.
Yeah, in the winter times, I have it's an oil heater. It's better than the forced air heaters. The forced air heaters dry out the air a lot.
Right.
These will dry out the air too, but not as bad,
Yeah.
And I just elevate it a little bit. But yeah, you can see sort of a lot of props I keep in this room too. I keep lots of random plants. I don't know, I just really enjoy growing things. And
show me like 5 favorite plants you have.
Okay, let's go upstairs because my favorite plants are upstairs.
Okay, show me like 5 favorite ones you like down here.
Down here, 5 that I love.
5 that you love down here.
Ooh, God, this is hard. It's like picking kids. Like, okay, so I'm gonna realize I can't this plant I'm gonna leave with my parents. It's just the beautiful large form monstera.
Right.
Right. I think it's just the, you know, I got it from somebody who got it from an elderly woman who had owned it for decades apparently, and was to keep it sizable. They just chop it every year, which I can see because this growth from here on out has been a year of growth. Just popped a new all that, and then if you give it another half a year, it's just going to keep going.
Yep.
I'm gonna have my parents take care of it because it's starting to get a little. I don't want to. I guess I could chop it. I don't know.
I like that. I like the story. Like I think good plants have a.
I love
the story.
I mean, you know what I really dislike is when sellers don't tell you anything about the plant. They try to be super cagey about its back. I get it. Like you don't want to release your sources and stuff like that. But like I just love to know where a plant comes from. It's so important to me sometimes to like hear that and to and to get a sense of where a plant background is. I love this El Chaco here.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I got it. Oh god, I got it. This one's from NSE.
Gotta love the El Chaco.
And it's the funny story. When I arrived, a USPS had basically dropped a box on a corner of the box and crushed it, and it came half crushed. And so the El Chaco was on the part of the box, and I felt bad. I was like, I emailed Enid, and I was like, someone like dropped a box on my plant. But I also realized the roots were fine.
Yeah.
It took a little bit of a struggle. I mean, these old leaves you can see here. I think it definitely stressed the plant out, but I always tell myself you buy a plant for its roots and for its long-term health and its genes, and the large leaves that have started to come in just really show like it struggled for a few months because it was just like wounded when I got it. It was just like it was crushed it's kind of like, well, the roots are fine, I'll just grow it out, and it looks good.
Becomes part of the story.
Oh, and it's great. I'm trying to think of what other plants I really love in here.
What is this one?
Oh, that's a plant I got from Equigenera, and I have no clue what it is. It's one of those weird named philodendrons.
Right. I love it. That's
Thanks.
great.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. I have the tag somewhere. I'll match it. You know how so Equigenera has this thing where a lot of their plants they don't have names for because they haven't been described.
Right.
So they'll pick another name and say it's like AFF or CF, whatever. And so this was one of them. They just gave it a funky name.
I love it.
And it's still, I got it a few months ago. I'll probably, after I move it to substrate. It's rooted enough.
Yeah.
Philodendrons don't do very well from imports, by the way. They're a struggle. I've lost a few of them because they die.
All right, you owe us a few more favorites.
Favorites in this room. This room. Oh, coincidence. That one right there. I got that one from someone in a local group. It was originally propped from another plant, so there's some debate over how sustainable those plants are. I try to make sure that when I get one.
As in like it's rare?
It's just endangered, I think.
Oh, I see.
And so, with any species that's endangered, I tend to just make sure that I'm buying a prop from a plant. Like somebody can show me the mother plant.
Right.
Or, because in that case, you can't really trace too far back, but at least you know that the plant you actually get is not another plant that's being taken. And that's kind of important for me as well, just to make sure that that's happening.
It is an anthurium, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's one of my anthuriums that I have down here in the tank.
And then the
Splendidum, that's a new leaf. I'm coming out on Splendidum.
Looks really nice. And these you have in sort of moss and
moss-ish, some substrate. There's a regulosum back there. Those are the few anthuriums I keep down here because generally anthuriums take a little bit longer. Not longer, higher humidity. The anthuriums tend to enjoy just a little bit more.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go up and see your pride and joys.